Hey guys, welcome back. It's Erica, and if you're joining me for the first time, welcome to my channel. So, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I've been sharing my teaching journey. As much as I hate that word journey, it's so overused. I've been documenting my teaching journey. I started at the beginning of the year just as a way to kind of reflect and improve and become a better platform teacher. And then the wheels just fell off the bus this past summer, didn't they? If you're watching this in 2021, it's now the fall of 2021. In any event, yes, in October, because of all the new regulations and restrictions of teaching online in China, I decided to stop teaching for VIP Kid. October 28th was the last class that I taught with them. And since then, I've been doing a mix of teaching completely independently and teaching a little bit on some platforms, just really I don't know, kind of a mixed bag. I am teaching some adult students on Italki. That was my initial plan back in August. I began the process to get onboarded to teach for Italki, and I've got a couple of adult students that I teach there. I did initially start teaching an old VIP Kids student there, but because I brought him onto that platform, I felt okay about inviting this family to join me as I began my independent teaching adventure. So currently, I have 4 students. 3 were kind of from my warm market. They were former students on VIP Kid who are no longer with that platform and have decided to come with me. And one of them is a student whose parent found me on Facebook. I believe he was watching a Facebook Live event with Tim of Online Teacher Dude and said, "Hey, I like your brand of crazy. Can you teach my kid?" Something like that. Anyway, so I have 4 students. There's 3 of them that will be, and I say will be because we're kind of at this in between phase. They will be with me twice a week, and the other one will be with me just 1 time a week. And so I'm sure what you really want to know is, how much am I making, right? So I am such a nerd. I am not going to share my screen with you because it'll probably terrify you if you see this, this spreadsheet. But no, I really wanted to know. Like many of you, my biggest concern about going completely independent is, yeah, great. Like I can teach independently, but like what am I actually going to be taking home? Isn't there going to be a lot of time spent working on a website, processing payments, talking to parents, doing the scheduling, blah 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 blah, and of course the curriculum, right? Doing the lesson plans, because we no longer have a platform like VIP Kid, GoGo Kid, Magic Ears, etc. to give us those lesson plans. Guys, I do miss that. I'll be honest. It was so nice to be able to just kind of roll out of bed. I like to roll out about an hour before. I'm in my 40s. I need some time for the blood to circulate to the face. But anyway, that was nice. I I definitely took that for granted at some point, and I do miss that, but not really. I do, but I don't, because there are some ways to still kind of make that magic happen for yourself. So yes, I'll be perfectly honest. I've spent a lot of time. Obviously, there's some kind of sunk time costs. I don't know the proper financial terms, but yes, I did spend a lot of hours like setting up my website and doing this and doing that and learning how to do this. And I did spend a lot of time communicating with other teachers. Community is so important, guys. You cannot do this by yourself. I know it's weird. You're starting an independent business. You can't do it by yourself. I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't really try to do it by myself. I did join a community of teachers that were doing this together, and we still talk. I actually had a lovely meeting with 3 of them yesterday to test out a new platform together, and it was so fun to test things out and then to kind of like workshop it and talk about what we like, what we don't. And we've done this. There's one teacher that I've done this with a couple different platforms. I think we've tested 3 platforms together. Hey, Carla. Anyway, so where was I going with that? Yeah, there are some costs, but I think what I've settled on right now, because I'm doing a mix of using some curriculum that I purchased and some lessons that I'm creating out of other things, I'm probably spending about 2 hours. 2 hours a week per student doing lesson planning. I'm also counting in costs of like talking with parents, or I'm also putting in there like updating my website, any kind of administrative stuff. Obviously, the more students you have, the more you can spread this time cost out. But right now, if I'm being honest, I think I'm spending with my 4 students 8 other hours during the week responding to emails and doing this and doing that, all the administrative kind of stuff. I'm even counting like the time I spent talking to GoDaddy and Strikingly about my website. That's all kind of, I've got to blend that in there somewhere. So based on what I'm charging, I'm making about $20 an hour. That's net. So before all of that, like before my costs and everything, I'm bringing in about, I think I figured on about $41 an hour. So all in, like, I don't know, there's so many ways to look at this, but basically I'm getting paid $41 an hour. What I'm actually netting is closer to $20 an hour. And that sounds absolutely horrifying, but you have to think about some of the stuff I'm paying for. Currently, I use Stripe to process, so there's money going out for that. I use Canva to do marketing, to make some stuff on my website, to make my pricing sheets I've sent out to parents. I'm not paying for a platform yet, but I will be. And I have purchased some curriculum. I'm using some materials from Reading A to Z, Raz Plus, and I'm also using Crystal Clear. That's kind of like my right out the box, just pop it on the screen and you're ready to go. That's a way that I'm going to be able to bring down my costs in the future with some of my lesson planning, is to use Crystal Clear. That's a solution that I've liked. I've tried out Chit Chat to Fluency. That worked for a while, but what felt more comfortable to me was using Crystal Clear. And I think especially for those of you coming from VIP Kid, you'll probably find that her curriculum is really comfortable, really familiar, and has that same kind of, what are we going to call it here? I should brand this. That roll out of bed lesson planning feel. I don't know, something like that. You get it. So yeah, basically Stripe, Canva, my platform, which is going to probably be ClassIn, using Raz and Crystal Clear. I'm also paying for PDF Filler to do my contracts, Strikingly for my website. GoDaddy has registered my domain. And then, I already talked about Crystal Clear. So those are some of my costs. Obviously, I could probably get rid of the PDF filler at some point. Maybe there's some other way. But with all these pricing decisions, yes, you can totally go free. You could use Zoom 40-minute classes for free. I think even Nucole and ClassIn, a lot of these have free options. You keep it under 40 minutes. You don't use a lot of cloud storage. You can use it free. That could save me some money. I could go ahead and use like free materials off of websites from here, there, and everywhere to make my lessons. But I decided there's some certain things, it's just worth it. Like time is money, and Crystal Clear is actually one that's bringing down my non-teaching hours cost, is what I'm calling it. So my goal rate is eventually to get down to 1 hour a week per student. So if I have 10 students, I'm spending 10 hours dealing with administrative costs, and maybe that's even a little conservative. I think I could probably get it down a little lower. But these first few months, that's what I'm planning on. And obviously the more students I add, the more like bang for my buck that I get out of those administrative hours. So when I spend 2 hours working on my website spread over 10 or 12 students, that's much less than spread it over 2 or 4 students, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not getting too like nerdy and financial, but I think that's what you have to think about. And that's why I'm charging what I'm charging. Do not feel like a crook charging like $40 to $60 an hour. This is the cost of doing this. These students were getting much cheaper prices at VIP Kid because again, they could scale. You're not spreading out website hosting over 4 students. At VIP Kid, you're spreading it over 40,000, 400,000, however many students they had. You're spreading that out over a much bigger student base. And so right now, I have like 4 different pricing models, I think, maybe if I thought about it. Well, maybe like 2 main ones. So I had some students that helped me, or the parents helped me test out platforms, test out curriculum, give me feedback on how I'm giving you feedback, like basically everything. These are a couple ladies that were so kind, that would spend so much time on WeChat with me, just like going back and forth. And I guess for them too, they were kind of helping me build my company. So there was something in it for them. Like if I chose curriculum or scheduling or whatever it is that I chose that worked for them, it was a win-win because they got what they wanted and I got to understand what people want. So for them, they got kind of special founders pricing. And then the rest of everybody else, I was offering some special pricing to former students that worked with me. And then I've got completely new students that just, they're getting a little bit of a price break from my ultimate pricing, which I'll probably implement sometime next year or beyond. We'll see how it all goes. I'm still kind of like testing out my pricing. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, I'm charging an average of about $41 an hour. You got some lower, some higher, and in the middle is 41 an hour. But right now I'm only getting about half of that. My profit margins are terrible, but that's just because I'm learning a lot of new stuff. As things get easier, as things get more automated, like if I went to an automated scheduling system, one benefit would be that I don't have to talk to parents about it anymore. But then I lose touch with parents, which I think there's a value in that. And also, I'd have to pay for that. A lot of those services, you have to pay for that. And especially if I also processed my payments through that, I start losing money on payment processing. So it's not overwhelming to think about. It's just something to think about. And making a nerdy little spreadsheet like this has kind of helped me because I can say, oh, what if I didn't pay for this? Or what if I could bring my non-teaching hours down? Like, how much would I make then? Or maybe I need to raise my prices. This is why my prices should be a little bit higher, because I do have these costs. I'm never going to be able to bring down certain costs. There's certain things I can manage. So yeah, I hope that wasn't like overwhelming for everybody, but so far so good. I am loving it. Like I said, I probably started this back in October, really started hitting it hard at the beginning of this month, and I've already got 4 students just doing some kind of warm marketing with people that I know, and then just taking some opportunities as they came in. After the first of the year, I think everything will be running a little smoother and I'll feel really confident about hitting the marketing hard. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm feeling really happy about it. So where are you guys at? Did you end up going with a global platform? Are you teaching independently? Did you do the interim thing like I did? Like you're kind of staying in like the safe harbor of a platform. Maybe you're on Cambly, or I don't know. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you'd like to know. I'm really open. Like I was willing to share my prices when I'm charging. Like ask me anything and maybe I'll answer it. Maybe I won't, but I probably will. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.